It is equally fascinating to explore how innovation is reshaping the world of sports. AI is revolutionizing performance analysis, game strategy, and injury prevention as well. Now we're honored to have our next speaker, Mr. Ramakrishnan Subramanian, fondly known as Ramky, the founder and CEO of Sports Mechanics. I think we're going to start with a video before you can come on stage, right? Okay.
2002, when Ramky came to South Africa, and he walks in the dressing room with a laptop, but he also carried this fantastic technology with him, which changed everyone's opinion. Because initially everyone thought, oh, what is this laptop going to do in the dressing room? Is the laptop going to teach us how to play cricket? The answer was no. But the technology helped us prepare with more precision. It was not left up to an individual's imagination. Or if somebody is bowling an outswinger, how would the ball travel in the air? Or what would the number 6 batsman play when he's playing a sweep shot? How does he set himself up? All those kind of intricacies were there, visible right in front of our eyes in our team meetings. And our meetings also became more precise, more purposeful. All these things were introduced way back in 2002, and now the whole world is using this technology.
Good evening, everybody. Ramky is doing, I think, a great job for the team, not for the team only, for the individual also. I still remember the Pakistan tour. I got some runs in first one international, and after that 4 day, I didn't get any more than 20 runs. And I sat out with the Ramky and asked, Ramky, what's going on? Where is my mistake? So Ramky and me sat out for, I think, an hour before the test matches. And he just told me one thing: your feet is too wide, so that's why maybe you are not getting runs and your head is falling. So I correct those mistakes and got triple century. Thanks, Ramky. It helps me a lot.
Hi Ramky, how are you? Hope you're doing good. I think in 2003, first time technology was introduced in the Indian dressing room, and after that it kept on improving, and most of the players started believing that technology will make a huge impact in their performances, as well as the teams started using it from the state level to district level to now IPL franchises. You get to see how much technology influence in their performances. So personally, if you ask me, during my injury phase where I have to correct my action, technology played a huge role because I have to remodel my action and I have to come back from my injury. It was a serious back injury and I underwent a surgery. And it was like 6 to 8 months of every day recording my action and finding out what is the correct action which is suitable for my bowling, which is injury free as well. So I have to thank you for all your help and your company's help. It was immense during that tough phase of my career.
Hi Ramky, hope you're doing well. Just wanted to say a big thank you to you for your contribution for Indian cricket and also for personally for me as well. You know, whenever I had any sort of problem while playing test cricket or one day cricket or international cricket, you know, you were always there to guide me with your thoughts, and also, you know, it's easier to believe, you know, when you have machines and you can see things, you know, what you're doing in the game, and you know, those small little things can actually make a big difference. I remember one of the incident, I was bowling in one of the test match and I was bowling a little faster than my normal speed. So Ramky came up to me and he told me during lunchtime, and he said, this is what your bowling speed is at the moment, and you need to slow down a bit. So I was earlier bowling at 93, 94 at that pace, and then suddenly after lunch, you know, I was bowling slightly slower in the air, which was my normal speed, 84 to 86. Then I got 5-wicket haul in that game. So thank you, Ramky.
Good evening, everyone. I'm able to hear? Yeah. So this was before I joined the Indian cricket team in 2003, and we've been working with the Indian cricket team till today. And we also been working with the Indian hockey team for the last 15 years. So it's been a kind of a journey there. Initially, when I started, nobody understood what I was doing. There were a lot of resistance to change. When I started, there was an association where they appointed a committee who's not touched a laptop or a computer. They were asked to evaluate my software. So all those challenges we had to pass through. But once I had analyzed about 100,000 cricketers in the company of all the top coaches in the world, and spent 13 years with Dennis Leary. So, learned a lot about fast bowling from him. Same way with all the batting coaches and bowling coaches and keeping coaches. And then, 2003, John Wright met me at, and he wanted me to present to the coaches on how we can transition coaching from naked eye to visual-based coaching. And it was initially meant to be a 45-minute session, and then at the end of the session, he said, everybody loves your topic, so continue for the entire day. He dumped his job on me. And at the end of the day, he said, there is a vacancy with the Indian cricket team. Would you want to join? Money is not great, but I said, no Indian would refuse our offer. I'm on board, forget about the money, I'm on board. And I joined the team in 2003. And Balaji and I made the debut at the same time. Balaji as a player, me as an analyst. I was the first performance analyst for the team. And from there, it's been a great journey. It's transformed me personally. We try to add more and more value to what we are doing to both the players and the team. Initially, it was more about technique. I was very, very strong on technique, so I have to use that. Then I realized once I joined the team, it was more about winning and winning with data. And we didn't have any data collected. So we set up the back-end data center for collecting data. As Pratik said, we collect about 90 balls, 90 data points per ball, potentially, right? And we started collecting that. Fortunately for us in India, all the cricket matches anywhere in the world is being televised. So we record all those videos, then mine that and extract the data and provide the insights to the team. And for the first time in 2003 in Australia Tour, Steve was lost series. Competitive intelligence was provided to the team. Before I joined the team, I asked Rahul Dravid what kind of team meetings happen. And he said, we all used to assemble in the coach's room, used to order French fries and samosas. Today, all that is banned. And last 5 minutes, I said, tomorrow is an important game, dil se khelo. So that was what team meetings were before. But today, it's become much, much more professional. People ask for data. There are players like Ashwin who push you for more data. And there are players like Umesh Yadav, Jadeja who run away from data. And now you have to serve them in the way they understand. Okay, it's about understanding the learning styles of different people. Some are, acoustic, some are kinesthetic, some are visual in nature. So you have to serve them content in the way they can understand and absorb. Because ultimately, I believe that 25% goes into all the research and analytics, 25% goes into how well it is embedded in the subconscious mind, and 50% goes into execution. But how well you execute depends on the first two blocks. So we did that, and we brought in a lot of changes. Initially, the players were reluctant. When they came in for team meeting, they all used to come, and I told John, half of them don't understand what you're talking because of your accent. And half the time only you're talking. It's for the players, let the players talk. And so we triggered the team meeting, and the players were supposed to discuss between themselves and trigger their thought process. And we used to facilitate that discussion. And then we provided them with sheets to write down points about their opponents they're going to play. And initially people said, Ramky, we've played against these guys so many times, even in sleep I can tell. Then I said, look, if I give you 1 hour of time, and if I give you videos, and I ask you to study those videos and come back, you will come up with 15 points. And one of them can be a game changer. So on that resistance to people adopting to it, and everybody came to the meeting well prepared. So all these brought in a lot of changes in the team meeting, what Sachin was talking about, how we made the team meeting more precise, more meaningful. And people, I mean, as a generation, cricketers are even more, I mean, they lose attention very fast, right? And we have to give them, they can't sit in one place for 20 minutes, so you have to give them the crux of the information very quickly in the way they can get excited, right? And so we served that information, and they came prepared for the team meetings, armed with all that. And inadvertently, subliminally, they were preparing for the games. It's very difficult. In India, the adulation is so high that can sweep you off your feet. So that's why you have a lot of these one series wonders, because once they perform well, the girlfriends want to have dinner with them, the sponsors want to have time from them, the relatives want to have, everybody wants that time, which is eating into their preparation time. And there are not many people like Sachin who, at the start of his career till the end of his career, spend the same time preparing for his game. He never went out on the eve of a game. The way he prepared for a game was so meticulous. And that's why he sustained for such a long period. And not only Sachin, Rahul, Lakshman, all the guys who played for 10, 15 years more, they have a discipline to continue even with all the distractions available. They were able to still focus on the core and start doing that. One of the instances where I asked Dhoni, why don't you appoint a professional manager to manage your business? He looked at me and said, Ramky, if I manage my performance, everything will get taken care of automatically. He was the only player for me who talked like that. Right? He was only thinking of playing for India, which was his dream, and he focused only on that. The rest automatically happened. He didn't do anything to work towards it, right? So many lessons learned around that in terms of how you can do that. And now I was able to do all these without any assistance, not much of money, because in those days when I had to purchase something, even a laptop or a mouse pad, they'll say, is Australia buying it? So only if Australia is doing something, you'll follow. You'll never lead. So we wanted to change that, and we wanted to make the world follow what we are doing. And today we are close to that because most of them don't have a elaborate data center like what we have in the back end, serving cricket content exclusively for them, only from a game strategy and playbook perspective and skill development perspective. Of course, data can be used for 4 purposes. One is for skill development, one is for game strategy playbook, one is for your selection auction strategies, and the 4th is obviously for fan engagement. Pratik has talked on it much more, right? So I'm going to focus on, though we've evolved from, I'm a domain guy. I was a cricketer myself. I played up to junior state, was in the state provincials, then got into technology, couldn't keep away from sports, convert sports and technology. And for the last 20 years, I've been traveling this journey, loving every moment of it. And once I get prepared for something new, then the whole technology changes, right? The last 2 years, when I wrote my business plan, I had to change it because the whole world is changing. All the business models, everything is changing today. So we have to adapt to, taking the AI journey. And with the generative AI, people talked about generative AI and the possibilities. Then we talked about the agentic AI, and we're talking about the physical AI. And I'm dreaming about physical AI. Okay, why can't I make a robotic bowling machine, a humanoid robot which can simulate various actions? I want to play against Nathan Lyon, so I can line up Nathan Lyon better if I play against a Nathan Lyon get a similar action. And it can look at me playing and give me a report at the end of my session. So many things can be done in terms of how we can help players acquire skills faster. The whole thing is, today it took me 15 years for me to mature as a cricketer, as a state level cricketer. Can that be reduced? Can you actually develop cricketers or develop the talent in any athlete? How we can reduce the athlete development life cycle? So we can apply AI to do that very efficiently and effectively. We have identified use cases where we can do that. There are 25 million cricketers playing cricket in this country, aged between 8 and 19. Any guesses around the number of coaches? 3,000 is accredited coaches. So even if you take 1:100, it's a very, very high ratio. You're talking about the need of 250,000 coaches. So the number of coaches itself is not there, like in education. Forget about the quality. And most of the coaches are all traditional type of coaching. I'm not saying it's wrong. They're all traditional type of coaching which is going to, but how do we unlock the new potential? How do you unlock the new possibilities using AI? So a coach, a super coach, Drona, is what we want. We want to build the model, making it a cricket-specific model or a sports-specific model. It can be a coach where you can submit your videos and Drona will analyze it for you and give you feedback, guiding you on a day-to-day basis. So you have a coach, a virtual coach in your phone, guiding you through your streetlight to floodlight journey. So that's what is possible on the skill development side. We're also working with the BCCI and IPL and many associations on effectively automating their entire operations workflow, how we can make it automated. We tried optimization in the scheduling and posting and allocation. So about from 1,000 days to 3,300 match days. The tournament got expanded to that, and we optimized the tournament window by only about, it increased only by 20%. And we helped the organizer run the tournament with a small roster size. So it was entirely optimized. A lot of possibilities around that in terms of how agentic AI can play a role in automating those workflows and reducing the cost of operations, reducing the cost of conducting tournaments with a small set of organization. All sports organizations are virtual. They have a very limited size. I think then automation can play a huge role around that. Then the third is we thought, okay, we've been providing analytics support for the team. Why not take it to the fans? So content for fan engagement. So how we can, today the experience, the fan, the way they consume the sport has become very, very different. Everybody wants snackable content. And you want content to be pushed to you. And Pratik may correct me if I'm wrong. There is more viewership on the highlights and the short form videos. People love that. People, as a generation, we just want to keep watching whatever we want and then move on, right? So why don't you put the experience in the hands of the fan? How can you help him consume the game that he enjoys? Okay, he loves. He can watch it the way he wants it. He can watch the match in a linear fashion. He can watch it ball by ball, or he can watch specific moments. So give that control to the fan and make him enjoy the sport the way he wants it. Today, it feels sad that even if I want to watch 1983 World Cup, I'm not able to go and watch anywhere. There is no destination, right? It's sometimes very sad that we are not able to, in a cricket-hungry country where we have such a big milestone, winning a World Cup, winning moments are precious for everybody to learn, and we don't have access to that to see and enjoy and cherish memories around it. But yeah, I hope things will improve, and there is a lot which can come in, and I'm sure people like Pratik's organizations are doing a lot in terms of how we consume this favorite sport of ours. Anybody who comes into my company, they come with a dream that, okay, if I work for sports mechanics, I'll go join the Indian team. That's a journey, because I travel for about 7-8 years. My colleagues travel for another 12 years. Everybody, they pass on the baton. So when they come in, they say that, okay, I want to go with the teams in the front end. And then I have to bring them down. I said, do you want to serve 15 people, or do you want to serve 1.5 billion people? Cricket fans following cricket digitally, 1.2 billion people. That's what they said. 90% are from India. So with such a huge population hungry for cricket, you give them any cricket, they're going to consume. It's such a passion, right? So I think the kind of possibilities which are coming in today can make the fan engage very differently. Hyper-personalization, how it can be personalized, and the content can be pushed to you, contextual content through the right channel. He may be consuming on Facebook, somebody may be consuming on Instagram, somebody may be consuming on Twitter. And the other thing is my personal opinion about owning the fan, right? Today, everybody is outsourcing fan engagement. But imagine if the IPL franchisees are able to build a fan following on their own platforms. They can own the fan, and the valuation will be very, very different when you look at it, and creating a lot more deep sell, upsell opportunities within that. And with all the blockchain and other possibilities, tokenizing the fan, creating a smart community around that, building community in an accelerated manner, and building a smart community, creating a lot more revenue opportunities around that. So with all this, I just want to play one more possibility which I created. I thought, okay, we're going to make a presentation in AI, and we created a video completely made out of AI, and we spent about 30 minutes and got this done. So, I have,
Picture this. A jam-packed stadium, lights blazing, fans on the edge of their seats, and a single moment that could define an athlete's career. For centuries, sports have captivated us precisely because of these moments, unexpected, exhilarating, and often determined by a razor-thin margin between victory and defeat. Yet behind these moments of triumph and heartbreak lies a complex web of training, data, strategy, and innovation that continues to evolve with every era. Today, we stand at the precipice of perhaps the most transformative era of all, the age of artificial intelligence. At Sports Mechanics, I'm thrilled to share that we're pioneering a revolution that goes beyond incremental gains, reshaping the entire sports ecosystem. We've introduced tools like Droner, the virtual coach, and woven together advanced technologies including 3D biomechanical analysis, wearable sensors for workload monitoring, and comprehensive motor skills testing. These efforts serve as the bedrock of our mission to enable peak performance. Our sights are now set on new-age AI and ML breakthroughs like digital twin and training simulation, real-time player and ball tracking, computer vision-driven biomechanical analysis, and even a physical AI in the form of a humanoid bowling machine that adapts to each athlete's performance nuances. We're also exploring mental training methodologies, leveraging brainwave analytics, stimulating chakras through music, and designing hyper-personalized sessions that reinforce an athlete's mental fortitude. But the impact of AI extends far beyond player development. As creators of the Sports Always platform, we harness over 2 decades of enriched ball-by-ball data for cutting-edge game strategy, amplifying playbook decisions with next-level Gen AI capabilities. Our TrueScore and Composite TrueScore tools, combined with AI-driven measurements, are fast becoming indispensable for performance evaluation and talent selection, delivering objective metrics for decision makers at lightning speed. And it's not just professionals who benefit. Fans around the globe are reaping the rewards of AI-driven commentary, immersive storytelling, automated highlights, AR/VR overlays, and native language chatbots that personalize every match experience. Behind the scenes, our sports ERP has already proven its worth for Indian sports administrators, optimizing operational costs and efficiencies at scale. Now, with agentic AI on the horizon, we are automating tasks like dynamic scheduling and resource allocation, streamlining an entire ecosystem to keep pace with the demands of modern sports. Even marketing is being revolutionized. Programmatic ads, contextual content, fan sentiment analysis, and real-time ad generation deliver unparalleled reach and resonance. Ultimately, this is about so much more than technology. It's about transforming the spirit of sports, creating stadiums that are smarter, broadcasts that are more immersive, and experiences that unite players and fans in brand new ways. From a field where every inch matters to a global stage where every second counts, AI is rewriting the rules. And Sports Mechanics is proud to champion this exciting future. Are you ready for the next era of sports powered by AI? Thank you for joining us.
and this is something here, Deloitte and Google worked out a report where they projected sports economy to grow at 130 billion by 2030. Such is the opportunity. I'm glad. We've been waiting for this opportunity for the sports economy to grow in India, and it's not at an industry like in the US or Europe, but it's slowly becoming there. And I see a huge potential in the next 10 to 15 years with the Olympics, trying to be hosted in India, the 2029 Youth Olympics and 2036 Summer Olympics. A lot of development in sports, a lot of investment in sports, a lot of investment in the infrastructure side. When you are developing the infrastructure, you make it as a smart infrastructure. So there's a lot of role play of technology around that to enrich the experience, change the way people train, get into the schools. How do we make all the students aware of their health? So we find out today you can identify the way you identify talent has become very different. Okay, so Tony Roche, coach, he told Leander Pace to shift to doubles because of his height. Today, you can predict the height of a person at an accuracy level of 99.5%. Right? Under 10 years, you can do that. The variance is not very high. And you can do with a swab test, you can find out whether you're suitable for which sport. I mean, whether you're explosive or for endurance sport. Usain Bolt is built for sprint. He would have been a disaster in marathon. Suppose he had chosen that. So how can you guide a kid to choose a particular sport? It's not about, I'm interested in a sport, I'm drawn towards it. But are you suited for that? There can be a test around that also. Today, the possibilities are there, which can make that happen. So you can guide somebody, when Leon Lopez was told at 19, but you can tell them at 10, then when they are starting off, they can be choosing the right sport, and they have to play multiple sports because one sport, you are then a sitting duck for injuries. A lot of people start playing cricket at 6, but then by 11 or 13, when they are ready for representative cricket, they have injuries around. So thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure talking to you all.
Thank you, Ramky and Prateek, for such a insightful and how the technology is transforming the sports and entertainment. And also thanks for sharing the videos made by the AI. And to continue, I would like to invite Professor Jiju Matthew, who is Professor of Practice at IIM Udaipur, to moderate the Q&A. I would like to also invite Mr. Ramky and Mr. Prateek on the stage for combined Q&A.
Thank you. As a country, we are engrossed in content. As a country, sports and particularly cricket brings all of us together. Thanks, Prateek, and thanks, Ramky, for sharing your wonderful insights. And it's something that, which is so interesting and something that drives us every day. So I have two short questions, and I think maybe you could keep the answer also short, and I want to give the opportunity for the audience to ask questions. So first question to Prateek, I just wanted to ask you, when you look at all of the content that is being sort of created and what is needed, and you spoke about fandom, human mind is so complex to be able to understand. What's your take on unlocking the human mind and get to make more content that is cherished and valued by people? Any quick thoughts about it? Beyond experimentation, I know you spoke about it. Anything otherwise?
So I personally don't think creativity can be replaced completely. I think creativity is the essence. I think what we need to do is have people who understand data and signals better and convert them into insights. So I think the age-old world of having researchers who go on the ground, create, again, sample-based, and then apply that to the full universe, those days are gone. I think you'll get more signals, apply people who can understand those signals and interpret the future. Those will be the people who will control the creativity agenda. So data will supplement that, and a lot of people who are relying on old ways of working will find it difficult.
Okay, thank you. Now, one question for Ramky. I know which is all important for industry and academia. It is now getting so difficult to focus on deep work, concentrate on things because of what is going around. Now, AI give you insights, but to perform in the ground, you need to also shut off and to be able to perform. So any insights, what is helping the great cricketers to be able to do both in terms of getting these insights and also to perform? How is it working for the successful players? I think that you could mention anything, any examples?
Absolutely. One of the the next big thing to happen in sports training is the mental side of it. Or like you said, how do you shut off from the distractions and focus on the game? Okay, and how do you ensure that you focus on high performance? So a lot of work is being done on that side. I think that's the next big wave which is going to happen. When I was working with the team, I tried a small experiment. One of my friends was Kumaresh Ganesh, the violinist, and we were discussing on a flight, and he said, "How do players prepare for the game?" And I said, they all listen to music. And he said, what kind of music? I said, English music or Hindi music, whatever their preference. They have this big Bose headphones and they do that. And then I asked him, is there any way we can help them with classical music? Then he said there are sapta swaras, 7 swaras and 7 chakras. So each swara can be used to manipulate a chakra. And then I said, wow, there are only 2 people who will appreciate all this in the team, which is Sachin and Rahul Dravid. So he said, if you sit with me and give their attributes, I will make a unique clip for each of them, for them to prepare for their game better. And we actually did that, and I gave it to Sachin and Sehwag, Sachin and Rahul. So I gave it to Sehwag. He couldn't sit through for 30 seconds because it is uniquely made for Sachin, right? So Sachin used it quite a bit, and in between he forgot, and he called me and said, Ramky, should I use it before I go into bed or after I come back from the game? And I told him it's for before going into bat, getting into the zone of optimum performance. How do you get into the flow state? It was fascinating for me when he told in the Sydney game, they've been getting me outside the off stump. And, I'm not going to get out this time. I said, playing against Brett Lee and Gillespie, that speed, it's more a subconscious activity, batting and not playing a particular stroke. It's a very tall claim. But that man actually did it for 200 runs. So phenomenal, lessons learned from that in terms of if you can keep your mind under control. And I asked him, what frequency are you there while you're in the middle? And he told me, because there is an app called Brainwave, which was launched when the iPad was launched, I downloaded that for all the players. And it gives you various binaural frequencies which can manipulate your brainwave into a frequency you want. So we tried all that, and Sachin, I asked him, what frequency are you there? He said in a meditative trance, but mentally aware. So that's the kind of impact what one can achieve by shutting out himself, shutting out the noise. It's very, very difficult, absolutely difficult in India, because the kind of the fan following is tremendous and adulation is very high. So it's very, very easy to get distracted. But in the overseas, there are players are around. They are, they can roam around the street without much of a following. Of course, now also it is very difficult even when you go to Australia. Also, we have a huge Indian diaspora there following the team everywhere.
Okay.
So that's what.
So thanks, Ramky. I think that's an important insight for the people from industry and academia to keep that focus. Thank you. Now I'd like to extend, time for the questions from the audience. So I think we can take 2-3 questions quickly.
Actually, this question is more for both of you. This is a cricket crazy nation, we all know. But there are a lot of sports out there who have a big market everywhere in the world. So can we do something through AI so that we can develop interest among people for some other sports? And on a lighter note to Mr. Ramky, are Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma taking your advice as they are going through a tough time right now?
No, so it's a question that we discuss in our boardroom nearly every month. I think the big sport. I think the one big learning for us is for a sport to be big in the country, your national team needs to play well. I think that's the big correlation, and that's true. Indian cricket changed when 83 we won the World Cup. Before that, cricket was nowhere. I think we need to first have a team which starts winning national football, kabaddi. These are 2 big sports which have come up. But having said that, I think the big thing which is missing right now is, and I was explaining this when I was outside, a lot of data which you get is based on sample-based TV data, which is the basis for all advertisers to put in money. Unless they put in the money, you don't have resources to build a sport on ground. So unless that pot, which is at the top, gets filled, no other sport will develop beyond cricket. All the money goes to cricket. So I think the problem to solve here is how do you get more money into other sports? For that, you need to create consumers, first prove that they are consumers in those markets. For example, football. You look at any data on viewership, it will come from 4 states: Bengal, Kerala, Northeast, Goa. So if I am an advertiser, I want to target Uttar Pradesh, on football will never be of any interest, because the TV sets from which I am collecting data, Uttar Pradesh, for example, is a very low reach from a television point of view of football. However, you might have more people watching it on digital. So now with the digital becoming mainstream, you will see that change happening. And now once that data is credible, proven, you will go to advertisers, get the money in, and that's how the cycle will begin.
And answering a question about Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, we are trying to get the virtual coach developed so that it's there on the mobile and they can interact with the mobile with their virtual coach rather than coming back to me.
Question?
In fact, while we were waiting, I asked ChatGPT to prepare a strategy document on Virat Kohli coming into batting at Perth, coming to batting when he's the new ball. What is the strategy? And it gave me a phenomenal strategy document, which was really good. I mean, after 20 years of being in the industry, I still find that it can do a better job without any of our data being submitted. So it's from publicly available data. What came out of a strategy document was simply superb.
Thank you both for really very insightful, talks. This is a talk for Prateek. I would like to take the example of South Korea. 20 years ago, South Korea was not known for cultural exports, but they have really taken over the world in terms of K-pop and Korean drama. And I believe that was a very concerted, very strategic effort, which was engineered. It didn't happen organically. And it's a really shame that India has such a rich cultural thing. Bollywood dances have been very popular, but only among diaspora. And while K-pop has really managed to cross over. So any thoughts on how India could benefit to do even more cultural export, not just to adjacent cultures, but crossover cultures?
It's a very good question, and I think it warrants a session in itself. But to give you a simple answer based on my understanding, I think first we need to get our culture exposed to our people first in this country. We haven't done that as well. I mean, we still have this north and south divide. Even when we talk about our business, it's Hindi markets, non-Hindi markets. So I think, to me, ultimately, it all boils down to first understanding of our consumer. We have not been able to get enough data and then interpret that data in the right manner to deliver insights to take it out. Nobody today knows what is the potential of what you said, a crossover of one cultural theme in a market moving to another theme. So again, I'll take the example of one thing that we've tried in our business. The serial called Anupama. It was a serial which was done in Bengal first. It worked in that market as a theme. Then it was produced in Hindi, completely fresh production. It worked again in this market. Then we took that theme to Telugu. Again, it worked in that market. So there are these themes which, if you have the right data and you package it correctly, they will get exported. But the point is, first you need a very diligent effort that you want to take it outside. So I think cricket is the only thing we've exported. Beyond cricket, we have not exported anything out of this country.
Yoga.
In yoga, I mean, you don't make money on yoga. but you are right. I think that's a big opportunity. We don't have an Indian origin theme which is global, except for Bollywood. And as you said, Bollywood is also Shah Rukh Khan, largely Shah Rukh Khan. Beyond Shah Rukh Khan, you can't name another star who's popular outside. So that's a big opportunity. I agree with you.
One last question.
Thank you very much, for your insights. A question for Ramky. Given Gukesh has recently won the FIDE World Championship, do you think AI will help in sports that are a little more, brainy sports in the sense of like chess, Go, and all of those?
Of course,
and
yes.
how it can play a role? Are you doing something for Indian sports people in that area?
Absolutely. AI can play a huge role in skill development, how we can accelerate skill development, because we are reimagining the possibilities and how we can accelerate the, when you're talking about coaching, people will expect, okay, Sachin to come and tell you how to bat, or Rahul to come and tell how to bat. Yes, that is good. That is a good knowledge base to have. But it is around the athlete that you can polish. You can't make somebody a Sachin Tendulkar, and a Sachin Tendulkar cannot become the other one, right? So it's about collecting data. There's an explosion of data happening around the athlete. And how do we collect that and process that and provide the intelligence and which can accelerate the skill development? I'm pretty much confident that For somebody to, with the naked eye coaching, for me to identify, isolate the problem, it takes a huge time. Whereas here, at the click of a button, you're able to extract the patterns, and you're able to put your pulse on the exact point which is needed and accelerate the development of part of it. So I think AI can play a huge role, but of course, when I say AI, it is not artificial intelligence, it's augmented intelligence. So you're not replacing anybody, you're only augmenting the coach into delivering the new possibilities to the kid directly, to the athlete directly.
I believe there's one more question, so last one, yeah, and final one.
So my question is moreover around making a D2C brand or D2C entry using this AI generated thing. So how can we actually monetize something towards D2C, since there are many lakhs and thousands of people playing cricket and other sports. So how can we take this towards a D2C sector?
See, you have to apply AI, which you can't do something humanly, right? I would like to apply AI to find out the most efficient bowling action, which a human cannot do, even if he watches. Or I can't watch the speed, like Harbhajan talked about. He bowls well between 79 to 83 kilometers. And I happened to notice it that he was, whenever being an emotional guy, he gets carried away with the situation. He goes to 89 to 93 and becomes ineffective. So for him to be most effective, he has to be between 79 to 83. So how do you keep monitoring that? And the speed, how do you identify the speed? Okay, Harbhajan, star is good enough to put all those data there. But for an upcoming youngster, we don't have those things. Or people talk about spin the ball. But how to spin the ball, whether I'm doing it or not? Can I get a technology which can measure the RPM? So that can be a good input for any kid. Also, these are all some of the points which can do. And today, it is impossible for me to sit and analyze all the videos. I sat down, analyzed Sehwag's video before he went, before the Pakistan Multan 300. So when he was not doing well, his spline angle was 30 degrees, and when he was doing well, his spline angle was 45 degrees. So he was crouching more, and I happened to notice it. But today I don't need to do it. Irrespective of that, I know my AI will do the job watching that, and any deviation from the mean is a good story to tell the coach and the athlete. So it is impossible for us to do, for us to scale at such a large population. As I said, 25 million kids. If you have to suppose be the coach for 25 million kids and more in other sports, then you need the help of AI, and which makes it a direct-to-consumer business opportunity.
I think just to add one point here, I think we tried this experiment. Hawkeye is the company which shows you all the leg before decisions. They have ball trajectory speed. So we partnered with them once, got access to all their ball data. So as wearing the head, and I think the technology still is not there to make it easy. If you were to play the same type of ball that Virat Kohli played when he scored 200, how would you perform? So I think those are the type of opportunities one should think of creating in the future, wherein how do you gamify the experience for a user that if Virat Kohli played 200 balls and scored 150 runs, if the same balls with the same trajectory, with the same speed, I play in a virtual setup, how do I perform? And two friends can play and see who does better. So I think those are the opportunities in my mind where we started some experiment, but the technology is very, very expensive and it's very cumbersome. I think we need to make it more efficient.
Okay, so thank you. I want to thank for your interesting insights, and particularly Ramky for your contribution towards improving the sports people performance, and Pradeep for all your contributions and particularly in monetizing them. So thank you for all the insights.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ramky and Prateek, for your knowledge sharing and all the information that you have. I would like to request now Professor to give the token of appreciation to our esteemed speakers. Please join me in giving a big round of applause.